Coming up on today's edition of the Art Marketing Podcast, 20 ways to grow your email list as an artist, both online and off. And specifically today is all about email. You need to always be capturing email. So let's discuss and shore up your email capture strategy. Welcome back to another episode of the pod. Fired up to have you with us. Let's start, you guys. Let's kick things off with a cautionary tale, which I've been really hot on for the last couple of months, I would say. And, the cautionary tale is really the mass plus wisdom guided by experience of webinars with my customers and others tells me that you are going to be an artist for the rest of your lives, which means you will still be creating and wanting folks to see that art and ideally buy it for the next 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 plus years. If AI lives up to the hype, it might even be 100 plus years for some of you. And so what we can't allow to happen is for you to reach one of those amazing ages, okay, without an email list, which is attention that you own and communicate with at your leisure. As you desire, that can't be taken away from you. And as a result of listening to this podcast, though, that will never be the case. So this episode is meant to be a comprehensive audit for you to be able to, ask yourself, how hard am I really working on capturing emails? Am I doing that daily? Am I doing that weekly? Am I doing that monthly? Then find out where your boat is leaking and shore it up and get it going. So I'm going to start with the online modalities. I'm going to move into the offline modalities. I'm going to cover what this sort of looks like when it starts compounding, anchored to some experts that I've talked about in episodes previously, and then we can wrap it up. I'm going to start on the website. It all starts with the website. If you've been listening to this podcast this week, you know how important it is that you have a website. It is critical that you have a home base for a number of different reasons. And a primary one of those reasons is it affords you the opportunity for multiple different ways in which you can capture emails and get emails onto your list. Okay. This is so important. And look, we're going to be talking about the basics today. Okay. The basics are the basics. They're not sexy. It's not some shiny object. It's not some special, incredible hack. It's just the things that you need to do all year long that so few artists do. And when you do, everything starts compounding. So let me run through some options that the website gives you. Okay. And we'll start with basic and we'll get more and we'll kind of just grow as we go. Number one is the footer sign up. Okay. That's the baseline. Every site should have it. Okay. If you don't have this is the first thing that you need to do. Your site has a footer at the very bottom of the page. You can put in a generic newsletter sign up there. Okay. You can get a discount code. You can put some sort of a widget. There's a million different things you can do, but start with the footer. Okay. Number one, basic, simple. All sites have it. The next is the site-wide pop-up. Okay. All sites, you guys use pop-ups. They're very, very important. They just work, right? All sites, all industries. It's just, don't fight proven. Don't fight what's working. This is something that just works. Okay. And the beautiful thing here is the 80-20 of pop-ups is, do you have one? Do you have one when I land on your website that asks me for my email address, right? Like you're going to get 80% of the way there. In future episodes, we could potentially talk about the trade craft, i.e., what are you offering? Are you just asking for an email sign up? Are you asking people to get onto your collector list? Are you trying to be like an e-commerce site and do the spin to win, which sadly actually works? We can get into the sweet spots in terms of timing and delay, but it just works and it just converts. Okay. So do the 80-20 audit. Do you have a site-wide pop-up? If I land on your website, is a box going to pop up and ask me to give you my email address? Okay. Very, very important. That's number two of the website. Number three. Okay. And again, arguing for why you need to have a website, because it gives you the ability, the optionality, if you like, to be able to exercise some of these techniques and these tactics, right? You can't do it if you don't have a website and if your artwork's on a gallery site or a marketplace, because they control the rules, right? So there's the whole argument of this thing. And The third thing with just a website specifically is you can do what the industry likes to call content upgrades, right? And a content upgrade, the easiest way to think about it is just assume a landing page, okay, where you know you can offer something for free that somebody would give up their email to download. And these abound in every single solitary industry, but the easiest, it's like, let's say I'm a coach that teaches meditation and I have my 12-step guide on deep breathing exercises. If you want that, put in your email, I'll send you this PDF, right? So what we need to do, again, proven, works, been working in marketing land for my entire career, these content upgrades, is we just take what's working and we skin it to what we do as artists, right? I'll give you 3 examples. You could offer 12 months of phone wallpaper packs, right? You have a landing page, you show off a couple of these, shoehorn your artwork into some creative way where it would display on a cell phone, and you can Google, there are little apps that'll just do this for you. You can just give them your image and it'll do all the cropping. Or if you want to be Photoshoppy, or you like Canva, whatever you like, then use that. But make 12 of these things, put them on a landing page, put 3 or 4 of them and say, hey, I'll send you 12 beautiful, perfectly formatted, 9 by 16 images of your cell phone in my art. Done. Okay. Epic upgrade. You could do the collector's list where you make a landing page and it says, join my collector's list. What do I get for being on your collector's list, Patrick? Well, thank you so much for asking. Let me tell you, you get exclusive emails to see my latest work before the general public and anyone else. Done. Great reason there. A third example, okay, that I really actually like is join my birthday club. Okay. This birthday club thing, it just works so well. I haven't talked about it on this podcast and I haven't even advised my customers to do it. And I realize I should, because here's the thing about birthdays. There are birthday people and there are not birthday people. Okay. I am squarely in the not camp. I don't want anyone to know I had a birthday. I don't want anyone to know that I got a year older. I don't want to be celebrated. I don't want cake. I don't want cookies. I don't even want any applause. I am someone that does not enjoy a surfeit of attention. Okay. Don't worry about me, because I am in the minority and the vast majority love attention on their birthday. They crave attention on their birthday. They seek attention on their birthday. Quick aside, but I get up really early and it used to be like the easiest way to get coffee was this Rouse supermarket by me. I live in Southern California and we have Rouse, and it would open at 5 and, the coffee shops don't open until 6. And so I used to go in there every single solitary day. And so it's like it became family with like a lot of the staff in there. And there was this one gal and she loved my birthday. She dressed up special. Her grin was especially ear to ear. She was always effervescent on her birthday and seeking attention and, just flowers and the whole thing. And it's like, that is the avatar that I have, or these people will do anything for some recognition on their birthday. And so you pick a carrot. It could be free merch on your birthday. It could be a discount coupon, which costs you nothing. It could be a custom birthday card that you make with your art on it and send it to it. Have them join your birthday club, right? It's a great content upgrade. And you throw that all on a landing page with your art, and the birthday people will just opt in. It's a great one to put in your footer too. Join my birthday club. What's the birthday card? And you put a little statement for it. So the content upgrades are fantastic. They really just work extremely well. And these are 3 ways where you can open up easy email signups, right? You've got it in your footer. You've got it popping. Okay. Any landing page that they hit on, boom, they hit the pop up, and then contemplate what makes sense, the best content upgrade for you. And boom, there are 3 ways that you are capturing emails anytime you are driving traffic to your site. Let's move to digital venue number 2. And for this one, I'm going to call it the socials. It doesn't matter which one. They pretty much all afford you the opportunity for a bio link, right? Link in bio on Instagram. Facebook gives you the opportunity to link to your website. YouTube gives you all your socials plus your website. You can do this with TikTok. You can do this with Blue Sky. You can do it with Threads. You can do it with Pinterest. You can do it with anywhere, right? And usually what I find is most artists just point it to their website or point it to their other socials. Okay. And I think this is sort of the compounding nature of, like, once you have the website, you unlock the ability to properly leverage a link service. Okay. And what do I mean by link service? At our storefronts, we just build a custom one for our customers. And it's just a landing page and they can put whatever they want in it. And it basically works just like Linktree. But Linktree is a really popular one. Later's one. There's one called Beacon, Standstore. There's a bunch of them out there. There are free and they're paid options. They abound. I think they're awesome and they don't get enough praise because essentially the way that it works is, and I'll give you an analogy of like how to think about it. But the first takeaway with them, and I should mention this, is like, given that these links are going to be primarily on your socials, given that the vast majority of social traffic is mobile or, sometimes 100%, but you can assume 80 to 90% of the traffic that are going to be clicking these links in your various bios and social media profiles are going to be on a phone. So you need a landing page here, a link shortening service that is just custom tailored for mobile. Like, it's not like, hey, this thing needs to work on desktop and mobile. It's like, hey, this is for mobile first traffic and desktop, all other traffic secondarily, right? So they're great in that analogy. But the other thing that I think about these link trees is like, sometimes I think of them as like an elevator where you're like, get in the elevator, you're going to take it to the top floor and that's your destination, but it stops at the 5th floor and the doors open and you have the opportunity to get out. Or it's kind of like, say you're going on a road trip and it's like a 3-hour drive and you're going to stop an hour and a half in to stretch your legs at a gas station and go into the gas station. And you're kind of looking forward to that because you're going to get a snack and everything else. It's like a stop before the destination, right? And, if I hit your social profile and I engage with your content, and I like what I'm seeing, and you certainly piqued my interest enough that I want to learn a little bit more, sending them directly into your website is a higher cognitive load, let's say, than sending into your link shortener service, Linktree or Beacon or whatever, right? I think you guys all know what these look like. It's a much less, it's a smaller cognitive load, and it is a smaller commitment, a smaller ask, right? And you sort of like get to give them a preview. That's an even better analogy. It's sort of like a preview rather than sitting down to commit for the entire movie. Okay. And so when you think about it in that analogy, these things actually play like a really, really valuable role, notwithstanding the fact that, you start marketing as an artist and maybe it starts out one social media site and then you have 3 or 4 or 5. Well, that's like watching 3 or 4 or 5 children, right? Or having to walk 3 or 4 or 5 dogs. That's a lot of poop bags to take with you. Meaning, if you want to change something or if you want to update something, you have to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things, log in, remember where the profile is, edit the profile, change the links. That's cumbersome, burdensome, and a waste of time, quite frankly. So when you have one of these Linktree services and you take that link and you embed it in all 5 of your social media profiles and maybe some other locations as well, you can put it in emails and such, in the footer of emails, then you only have one central thing to update. That's really convenient. Okay. You have one central little menu where you're updating all the links. And the minute you do that, it's automatically updated on all those other sites. I mean, that's hugely helpful. Helps you move quickly, right? Well, where it compounds with the website is, let's assume that you've got a pop-up on your website and you've got a link in the footer and, you're doing the iPhone wallpaper pack and you're doing the join my collector list and maybe you're doing the birthday club and you're doing take 10% off your first order for first time customers, right? You can have all of those links in the link tree, right? You can link directly to the birthday club thing. You can link directly to your iPhone landing page. You can link directly to the 10% off coupon, right? And it's all right there in that simple little menu. It's the appetizer before the meal. And I can be busy and I can be on social media and I do not want a huge cognitive load. It's a long day. I just got my kids to bed. I'm sitting there with that glass of red wine. I'm kidding. I'm drinking wine, but you're sitting there with that glass of red wine and talking to your wife and you're just kind of thumb scrolling and I hit something and boom. If I'm a birthday person, I'm like, oh, I love people celebrating me on my birthday. Maybe they go for the birthday club then. Or if they want to be on your collector list, maybe I'll just quickly get on the collector list. Or if it's like, yeah, you know what? I would like my cell phone wallpaper updated. Boom, they hit that, right? And so it's an easy way to maximize the number of emails that you are capturing on any social visit, right? And sometimes it's a lot less friction on a mobile phone, you guys, to send them to that than to send them to your entire website, right? Your entire website has to load a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of infrastructure. Yes, it's going to be mobile formatted in most cases, especially if ours are incredibly beautiful on mobile, but that's still just a higher cognitive load. So you end up getting a higher conversion rate when you have one of these link shortening services. And again, they abound. There's paid, there's free. There's some that let you do email capture directly in the app without going out. Do you, by all means, whatever works for you. But you should do this, okay? It's a very, very simple way to just pick up emails all year long as you're doing your consistent marketing. So we talked about the website. We talked about the link tree. They all just keep compounding. Okay. So now we are moving from website to the link in the bio. Let's just say the social links, right? To messages and DMs. Okay. Messaging is emerging as a very, very important platform. Instagram is all about it and takes it seriously. Facebook takes it very seriously with Messenger. X.com is all about our messages are encrypted. People send a ton of messages that way. They all sort of have their own messaging platform. Okay. And very few people talk about how to actually maximize marketing ROI in these channels. Okay. And so if you are getting, and it's very, very easy to do so. Let me give you this super special, magical, tactical playbook, okay, which is so hard to follow. When you get into a conversation with someone, ask for their email. Imagine that. Ask for their email and shut up. Hey, Patrick, thanks so much. Really appreciate the comments. By the way, you should get on my email list because it's awesome. Can I send you an email at such and such? Or can I get your email? And then shut up. It's that simple, right? Like you don't have to overthink it. It's not super difficult. You just ask. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. When you're in a conversation, okay, just ask for the email. Just ask. That's it. You'd be surprised what you can get away with just ask. You also have the opportunity, as these things continue to compound, to throw the Linktree link in there, because almost all these messaging platforms allow for links to be dropped directly and they're clickable, right? Which is awesome because you can't do that on post. So just ask. Just ask. That's it, right? Very, very simple to do that. Very few people do that. But when you get in conversations, just ask. Do you know how an email list is built? How's it built, Patrick? One email at a time. One email at a time. You only need one email from the right person to turn a marketing campaign into a $5,000 sale. It happens all the time, but it all starts with you asking. Everything that we do digitally is an opportunity to capture an email, okay? Now, I had been covering the basics and I've been very diligent on, trying to do a reset this year with the podcast, trying to go back and cover all of the things, while not the latest and greatest and tactical and shiny object in marketing land, just are tried and true and they work. So I'm excited about this episode, but I'm also excited about this episode because once I feel like it's in the can, then we can start moving on to some of the crazy tactical stuff that is the shiny objects, the latest and greatest really working tradecraft. So this affords me the opportunity for the many chat teas. Okay. And I am committing to you guys to do a future episode on ManyChat. All right. It allows you to essentially put marketing automation into Instagram or Facebook or now TikTok at scale. So for now, if you're listening to this, just do things manually. I will cover in depth tactically what you can do with ManyChat. For a great many of you, it's an incredible unlock. So we'll get into that in a future episode. Venue number 4 in the digital capacity, you guys. And this one's really just honorable mention. But if you are someone that is taking your social seriously and you are getting comments, that must mean you're not just machine gun posting your art all day. You are actually posting some cool stuff about you. You're in the comments, ask. Okay? Ask in there too. Thanks so much for the comment. You should totally get on my email list. Check out my link site in the bio. Check out my link tree in the bio. Check out my link in the bio. Check out my link in my profile, right? And what's really interesting about comments, okay, is it's one-to-one and it's one-to-many at the same time. It's the overcook, undercook. I love that clip. Anyone gets that reference. Anyway, someone interacts with you. They're like, I love this art. It's amazing. You reply, thanks so much. You should totally get on my birthday list. Check the link in my bio, right? You leave that comment and maybe they click, maybe they don't. Maybe they're like, they never came back. They just left the one comment and they don't look at their notifications and they're not coming back. But everyone else that sees the posts also sees it. And you're in there leaving the comment anyway. So just ask. Just ask. It's honorable mention. It's part and parcel of just leveraging this strategy where always be capturing emails everywhere all the time that you can, right? Now, I didn't mention when you actually get orders, right? But when you actually get orders, of course, you're going to get the email address. So that works. And once you have this system in place, you have our broad-based catch-all email capture. You've got the things running on the website. You've got this special link tree or link in bio, or I forget what we call our storefront has a name for it in our software. A bunch of our customers use it. Anyway, once you have that all going on, you have the optionality of being able to deploy these anywhere else where you get any digital action whatsoever, right? Somebody else mentions you, gives you a write-up, you can decide what to do. Maybe you deploy the birthday thing. Maybe you deploy a 10% off coupon. Maybe you deploy the collector list. Maybe you deploy your link to the website and when you can't control it, right? So it all just compounds when you have the strategy going on. And then as you are going about your day and your regular marketing, and some things work and some things don't, and some things drive great traffic and some things drive onesies, twosies, and sometimes people just link to you, you don't worry about it, because you are taking advantage of every single solitary opportunity you can to get people that are interested in your art to give up that email, right? To give up that email. And I should mention, as I said on the previous episode, really the trifecta is email address, phone number, snail mail address, right? That's the trifecta of data points that we can have on our buyers, our collectors, and our potential buyers, our leads. So you want to try to be capturing all three of those all the time. But I realize, setting yourself up for cell phone capture is a little bit harder, a little bit more advanced. Setting yourself up for snail mail capture is a little bit harder, a little bit more advanced, and you have to send things. But it should just broadly be mentioned. Those are the three things, the trifecta and or the email address, that we want to be capturing all year long in every single solitary online opportunity, online venue that we can, right? So really, really just important to mention that. Those are all the online ways. Okay. Let's just say for the time being. Now let's focus on all of the offline venues. Okay. The real world venues, the reality venues. Okay. Instead of the virtual world, the real world. And I get this question all the time on my webinars and such, and on my live broadcasts. It's like, okay, Patrick, well, how do you help us market? Is it just Instagram and social media marketing? Because I know that doesn't work. It's never worked for me. It's not going to work for me. And I'm like, no, it's not just Instagram. It's everything. Okay. I always answer the question the same way. And it's the nuance and the answer that's so important, because platforms, outlets, opportunities, social sites, charity gigs, this, that, and the other, they all come and they all go. They all flow. There's some things that stay permanent, like your website, right? Which you own. It can't be taken away from you. And then there are other things which are utterly, totally, and completely rented. Your social outlets, a one-time gig, you do it at charity, you sponsored your kids' team, and you get a link that way. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter what it is. The key is getting the basics done, which is a strategy where you are attempting to capture emails every single solitary place, right? It doesn't matter if it's online or offline or midair on an airline flight when you lean over and tell this person that you're an artist and they're like, oh, what kind of art do you do? And you're like, hey, give me your email. I'll send you some of it, right? It just always be capturing emails, always be capturing emails. So in the real world, okay, I'm going to give you some techniques and tactics. And the first is really just at any in-person event. And this is like the most classic, and we can get into it. But if you are someone that does in-person anything, shows and fairs, a co-op gallery, you got into a restaurant, you got into a retail store, you got into some sort of a charity raffle off, whatever it is, there's a basic playbook. And I wrote an episode and a blog post a couple years ago now called The Ultimate Guide to Shows and Fairs. I will make sure that gets linked up in the show notes. Go read that if you've not read that, right? But all the traditional ways of capturing emails, capturing leads that work for a great many businesses in the offline world work fantastic, okay, in the real world as well. And if you're in your booth, these are things like put a clipboard down, okay? It's paper, a ballpoint pen, a couple dollars in tools, 150-year-old play, join my mailing list, right? Name an email. You can do the fishbowl, drop the business card in there, right? Not everybody has business cards this day, so that doesn't always work as well as it used to, but it still works for some people. Drop your business card in, free print drawing at the end of the month, right? You can do the iPad technical POS receipt opt-in, point of sale opt-in. A number of different e-commerce sites have this opportunity. We have it as well. It's like, look, just Here's the iPad, put in your details, get on my email list. I'll send you a such and such, right? You can have a door prize at entry fairs, right? Like enter to win the door prize, right? This is like where giveaways and in-person anything can be leveraged to get on a list, to potentially win something or not, or to just get on your list. But the key is that you don't let any in-person opportunity go where your artwork is on display, where you can potentially capture an email list. And each venue has different rules. Some shows and fairs let you do the clipboard, but they don't let you do balloons. And here's the print that you can win, winner announced at the end of the show. And some allow the fish bowls, and some are going to say, I don't want you capturing emails, all these things. You just comport to whatever the in-person venue is. How you win at this is you think about it ahead of time and you're like, okay, I'm going to do an in-person such and such. What is going to be the easiest mechanism that I can use to capture emails and get people on my list, and ask? It's as simple as ask, writing it down in your phone, sharing a contact on the phone, having the clipboard, having the fishbowl. Covered this a bunch. It just works. Okay. It just works. Let's get into some new tech from here. So the new tech from here that I love, and I talked about on episodes previous, but not enough artists are leveraging it. Not enough businesses, period, quite frankly, are leveraging it because they think it's hard and you don't realize how easy it is. But I am talking about QR codes. Okay. The little codes with the little bots, the little dots all in some pattern, and you hold your phone up to it with the camera and it automatically scans it, and boom, you can send them off. And again, at Art Storefronts, we integrate this into our software, so you don't need a third-party app, but third-party apps absolutely abound that allow you to do this. There's free ones, there's paid ones, no different than the link shortening services or the link tree services that we talked about earlier, right? Later we can all that. So you can Google and find whatever you want, which one to do this. There's even ones that will incorporate your artwork now, but they work. Okay. These things work. You can set them. They're infinite. They never expire. And thanks to COVID and thanks to restaurants deciding that they don't want to print out their menus or deal with menus anymore, which I'm kind of old school. I kind of like a menu still, but during COVID, I feel like there's so many restaurants where you're sitting down, you're waiting to get service. You haven't gotten service yet. You're like, what am I supposed to be looking at? And it's like, oh, it's on the table, right? Or if you go to Vegas or you go somewhere like that and it's just a QR code, or if you're like, a swimming pool at a hotel or whatever, and they're like, scan the thing right there, right? So pretty much everyone knows how to do this, young and old. You hold the camera up to it, you click a couple of buttons and you get in there. And so there are so many different ways that you can deploy this. Okay. And really the way to think about it is, if there's going to be someone in the real world that is going to potentially see this and have their phone on them, it's a great place to try it. It's a great place to try it. So it works on the back of any printed material whatsoever, right? And that could be posters, that could be business cards, that could be a postcard you send out, that could be a placard talking about your art in the doctor's office, in a cafe, at a booth at a local fair show, on the side of your booth at a local fair show. You can put these things anywhere. Okay. You can put them anywhere, and you can direct that traffic to any of the places in which you have your email capture, or you can direct it directly into an email sign-up box. There's just so many different ways to do this, and, so many creative ways to leverage it. And one of the ones that never gets mentioned that I think is absolutely awesome and I love, magnets on your car. Not kidding. Magnets on my car. Magnets on any car, quite frankly. Okay. Put it on your significant other's car because he drives around all day long. And it's very simple. It's like $30 to $45 for a pair of 12 by 18 door magnets. They're 30 mils thick. Okay. They just stick right onto your car, and you can just drive around and see what happens, right? You could put it on someone else's car and tell them you'll pay them $5 a day if they're driving around all day long. And it's simple. You put your art on it, you put a QR code on it, and you see what happens, right? Like if that car is sitting stuck in traffic all day long, and I'm sitting in my car and I'm just inching along in the metal coffin on the 405 South. I live in Southern California where traffic is an absolute disaster, especially, and give me something to do. Give my passengers in the car something to do. Show something beautiful about the artwork. Make a provocative statement. Want to look at some art while you're stuck in traffic? Scan the code, right? And you can direct that link to absolutely anywhere. So I think the cars are just absolutely hilarious use case, right? A hilarious use case. You could be in your window, right? If you live on a high traffic street, you could put two giant pieces of your art, one on an easel and one with a QR code, and put it out in your driveway, right? There's like just so many different ways to get creative with it. And, vendors, if you want to look into this, Sticker Mule, I know does it, Vistaprint does it, Magnets.com does it. There's a company called Banner Buzz that does it. So very inexpensive, totally reusable, okay, and totally a valid way to be capturing. And everyone has different circumstances. Some people live in Alaska, okay, and you're not going to see a lot of foot traffic. You don't even see a lot of people. Probably not the best use case for you, in case you do, unless you do direct mail. But for anyone that's in any high traffic area, any urban area, any creative anything, it just works fantastically well. And there's going to be a lot of times where you get your artwork somewhere. They don't necessarily want you putting a clipboard out there, but the QR code just sort of solves for it. So it's just absolutely a great, great way to go with it. And, it really unlocks anytime someone would do direct mail. And if you listen to this podcast for any period of time, I've done an entire episode on direct mail. I think direct mail is fantastic. And I think even if it's not direct mail and you could find a kid on rollerblades, I think rollerblades is the ultimate way to do it. In fact, why are more people on rollerblades not doing this? And like they need to, because I see these people, and they pay minimum wage and they get these like outfits, kind of like it looks like newsboys used to wear, like a giant pouch in front and pouch in back. And they pay these people just to walk to every door. Like, get a kid to do it on rollerblades. You know how many houses they could do? You don't even have to pay for postage, but you can get like literally 1,000 postcards. There's, Vistaprint is famous for this. There's another site, called Got Print, and they do it too. And I think it's like 40 cents a piece if you do 1,000, which is a really, really good deal. And so that's like $400, and you could potentially have your art in 1,000 mailboxes, right? Like, think about where you live. Think about where the high-end neighborhood and homes are, right? Or better still, where a brand new community just got built, because there's going to be a bunch of people moving in or had just moved in and are looking to decorate their houses. Find a kid on Craigslist that's willing to do, 10 cents a house or whatever, somebody that moonlights and plays roller hockey, and spend the $400 and do it. I not only will you probably ROI on the entire marketing effort, but with the QR codes on those postcards, you're probably going to get a ton of emails and a couple of sales every single solitary time you do that. Why doesn't anyone do that? That's a fantastic marketing technique, right? It also works. I am not opposed to guerrilla marketing tactics. Okay. And before you ask, I'm talking about guerrilla, camo fatigues, black stripes under their eyes, guerrilla marketing. And, I used to give this advice all the time to the folks that are in like the pet niche, right? And the folks that are in the pet niche, this is definitely a little bit guerrilla because it requires you putting stickers on things. But you know what? I'm not here to weigh morally on the ethics of all of that. But I'm in the pet niche. I do pet portraits. I'm going to every single solitary dog park I can find, going to get a sticker with a QR code and jam it onto the little fruit poop bag stations, right? Like a QR code, if you're doing pet portraits, on every single solitary dog poop bag dispenser at every dog park in your whole town, how many people are going to scan that? How many people are going to scan that and get on your list, right? So the QR codes really open up a way to think creatively about how you could capture emails in the real world. And it works so many different ways, and it's inexpensive to leverage. And so why aren't you doing that, right? Why aren't you doing that? And I use that whole list, okay, to illustrate how many different ways that you can potentially be creatively capturing emails. And really, it's just about nailing your digital footprint, thinking through every scenario and getting creative with what you're doing in the real world. And then telling yourself to always have the temerity to ask in any in-person face-to-face, just get the email address, because the email address means you're still in the game, right? And, it's like, I love the analogy. I always think of like, I don't know. I always think of Good Will Hunting when I think of this, because it's like, when he's supposed to go to the Robin Williams is supposed to go to the World Series game, and he meets his future wife in a bar, gets her number, sits down, and talks with her, slides the ticket over. But it's like, think about the future love of your life that you met somewhere, right? And you have this great interaction, and you caught each other's eye, and it was amazing. And then they're about to walk off and you're about to walk off wherever you were. Maybe it's inside of a coffee shop, right? Just ask. The worst that can happen is they say no, right? But just ask, like, hey, oh, thanks. Yeah, I am an artist. Oh, you know what? You should get on my email list. Let me get your email. And then just shut up and see what happens. If you can just train yourself to do that, the sheer number of interactions that you end up having and the sheer number of conversations that you have, okay, where you're actually being real, because you're not just going art, like everyone does in the socials. Like, just ask. You guys just ask. If you can just train yourself to do this and then think about how things compound, okay, things will compound so quickly. Nobody does this. If you start doing this, this is how you go from hobbyist. This is how you go from talented artist making amazing art that's a hobbyist, or talented photographer that's taking amazing pictures but hobbyist, into aforementioned talented artist, aforementioned talented photographer that is running an art or a photography business. And if you think back a couple of episodes, who did I feature? I featured Wyland and I featured Gray Malin. Okay. Stop the podcast, go to their websites, and go opt into their email list. See if either of them have a pop-up, by the way. See if they've got an offer in the footer. See if they've got custom landing pages. Spoiler alert, of course they do. They have links in their bios. They have all the things that I'm talking about and then some. But go get on their email list, because I want you to see what these people email. And I want you to see the frequency of how they email. And, again, all of us have studied the masters of our craft. Why have we not studied the masters of business? It's such a reaffirming thing when you do it. You're like, oh, I see. So there are these basic things, the biggest art sellers in the world, which deep down in my heart of hearts, even if I don't get to their level, I want some modicum of that success. I want to say that I'm selling on a regular basis. Just go and get on their list, okay? But let's just do some compounding math, right? And let's say you listen to me in the earlier episodes, and instead of just having artwork in your lineup, you now have your pricing and lineup sorted. You have prices that start at 25 or 35 or 45 or 50, and you go all the way up to like $5,000, let's say. Okay. And let's just say, for the sake of this compounding exercise, that your AOV, which means your average order value, is $90, which is not atypical for an art business that has a huge lineup, right? Because you get a bunch of people buying a ton of stuff at the lower end of the range. You get way less people buying a ton of stuff at the top end of the range. And then you get some people in between, prints and limited editions and bigger prints and cheap originals, but mostly merch and not wall art stuff, right? So your average order value is $90. And let's say that you send 2 emails a month, which is light, but 2 emails a month with offers in them, right? Buy this, buy that, special on this, BOGO, whatever it is. Okay. Let's just do the math, right? And let's say that you bolted in as much of what I just advocated you do as possible. And for instance, you're getting 20 emails a month in your website footer, and you do 1 art fair per quarter and you get 50 emails each. So that's 17 a month. You put the QR code on the side of your car and that's giving you 10 emails a month. And, you have a studio where you do studio visits or co-ops, and that's giving you 5 emails a month. And you're doing Instagram DMs, getting people on the birthday list, and that's 4 emails a month. And you decided to do a direct email postcard because you're like, I want to do that. The kid on rollerblades just did it, and that's giving you 5 emails a month, right? So let's just say that you are now capturing 600 emails a year, right? 600 net new email addresses per year, depending on where your email list started. Okay. All right. I'm doing the math really quickly in my head. Bear with me. So your AOV is now $90. Okay. You have a lineup. You've got 600 emails on your list. Usually what's going to happen is 1.5% of your list, if you're emailing 2 offers a month, is going to buy at that $90 AOV. Okay. Let's say you start year 1 with 200 emails on your list. You end with 800. So on average, you're emailing 500 people. That's $8,100 a year. Okay. In revenue from that list. So you started the year with 200 emails. You ended it with 800. The average was 500. You emailed it 2 times a month with offers at an AOV of $90. That's $8,100 a year from that list. You don't have to have a big list to start bringing in money. Year 2, you're going to end the list let's say with 1,600 emails, and the average that you've been emailing all year is 1,200 emails. That's $19,400 a year at that $90 AOV. Year 5, you're going to end with 6,500 emails on your list. Okay. That's $89,000 a year at an AOV of $90. Year 10, okay, you're going to have 16,000 emails on your list. That's going to be $226,800 a year at an average AOV of $90. Want to do year 10? Year 10 is between 800K and 1 million. Okay. That's the trajectory. That's the business. That is how much money you can make as an artist. That if you work on capturing emails all year long, that is what the business looks like. And those are relatively conservative estimates. 1.5% of your list buys a month at a $90 average order value. So you see, like when we cover these basics and we break down like the fundamentals of this business, you see how all of these things compound on top of one another, right? They all just start compounding. You've got the website, right? You're doing the basics on the website. Everything that we've talked about. You're capturing emails everywhere that you can. You're marketing regularly and consistently. You've got your lineup and range of pricing because you've unlocked POD. Then it really just becomes a game of pressure over time and being consistent. That's it. And the maths compound so quickly if you do this. They compound so quickly, but you have to have all the pieces of the puzzle in place for it all to work, right? So keep in mind with email, you guys, you don't own your followers. You don't own your social site. You own your website and you own your list. All roads lead to email. Where we are in 2026, this was true basically since the advent of email up till today, right? Because before that, we had phone numbers and snail mail. And the basics are just the basics for a reason. Not sexy, okay? Not particularly exciting, although fun. They just need to be done consistently. That's it. And when you bolt a number of these different things, as you audit what you are doing and what you currently have in your business, don't get overwhelmed. Just make the list. Start adding them one at a time, right? Start adding them one at a time. Because when you have that, the optionality is there. You have multiple ways to win, right? And you're just going to keep doing you. You're going to keep behaving like the artist that you are in both the online world and the offline world, except you're always going to be asking for the email. Just ask and then shut up. The majority of the time, these people will say yes. So always be gathering emails. And always contemplate leaving me a 5-star review and or comment. If you're getting value out of these episodes, I have really been enjoying your feedback. And as always, thanks for listening and have a great day.